Hey, I'm Hannah Kramer from The Real Deal. Today, I'm here in the middle of New York Harbor on Governor's Island, which has been the subject of a contentious rezoning project. Rezoning passed this last spring, and today we're going to check out the island, a little bit of its history, and talk to some of the proponents and opponents to the redevelopment project. Here on the South Island, the south sort of half of Governor's Island, there's a center part that's full of these parks, which are beautiful. And then there are two zones on the eastern side here and on the western side there that are going to be redeveloped after this rezoning goes through.
Well, the history of Governor's Island starts way back when, but its more recent history starts in 2003 when the island was transferred from federal control back into local control. And the vision at that time was always to make Governor's Island a beloved public destination and one that had opportunities for education and mixed use business development, this type of use on the island. We want to make sure that it is as well loved and used on a Tuesday in February as it is on a Saturday in July. Governor's Island has 2.2 miles of shoreline of the city's 520. So it feels like the perfect place to be thinking through and really innovating around, as I said, sort of solutions for this next generation of climate change that's coming. And so we're starting with this key component, which is attracting an educational partner or a nonprofit research partner, which is going to be the hub for classes, for research, for faculty, for students, for visiting professors and researchers, et cetera. But surrounding that, as you said, we really see that there's huge potential to create space for businesses who are working in green tech and blue tech, both on the adaptation side of the climate house as well as the mitigation side. There's the potential to have dorms and faculty housing to help support the educational part of the program. We see the potential for hotel and convening center, again, both for New Yorkers, but then also with this idea that hopefully a center like this is going to attract folks who are working on climate and environmental issues from across the 5 boroughs, but also from across the world.
The rezoning is allowing for about 225-foot buildings plus 40 feet for the air conditioners, plus 11 feet for the base plane. 250 feet, 25-story height buildings right in front of us, basically. And just boxing in with the beautiful open parkland. In fact, over here, they're allowed to do the same thing on the western part. And, you can see the Statue of Liberty when you get over here, but then it's going to be this huge building instead.
When you talk about the island, there is a northern part, which is our historic district. That has about 50 buildings on it today, with about 1.3 million square feet of space. Some of those buildings are occupied with year-round tenants. Many of those buildings on the North Island are available for adaptive reuse. And so we've made clear in this RFEI that's specifically targeting educational and research partners that they can say, I'd really love to adaptively reuse Liggett Hall as part of the concept. In addition to that, on the southern part of the island, we have our fantastic new park, and then we have 2 zones that are currently fenced off to the public and that have always been allocated for ground-up new construction.
They set aside 2 quote-unquote development zones. And like I was saying before, we understood they'd put things there, maybe help bring in income to the island. No big deal, right?
What kind of things would those be?
A public pool over here, down this way, an amphitheater with a band shell, expand the urban farm, expand Billy and Oyster Project and the earth matter composting facilities.
The original master plan for the island has the beautiful park that folks know and experience today, but it also has certain parts of a vision that we didn't have the money to build back then. So that includes the Esplanade. It includes a space on the southern part of the island that had been thought of for an amphitheater for the public to use and other things like that. So as the plans unfold in the coming years, there will be opportunity to reintegrate those into the public space. And on Governor's Island alone, we're expecting that the center could create in excess of 7,000 jobs. But I think even more relevant is the fact that it can help the city to continue to advance itself as a green economic engine, growing small businesses, providing workforce development opportunities, all of which sort of leverages the fantastic strengths of New York, which is its diversity.
This over here, Overlook Hill, is the high point of the island right now,
it's
right?
70 feet, 7 stories. What's going to be over here, or what's going to be behind us where the tents are now, is allowed up to 200 200 plus feet, 20 plus stories, 3 times the height of Overlook Hill.
Obviously, the North Island has very specific landmark restrictions in place, and as those are adaptively reused, they're effectively going to look the same. As we think about what a new building can look like on the southern part of the island that embraces and responds to the park and the historic district, it incorporates things like greenery into the architecture and is cutting edge in terms of design, but not in a way that is an all glass tower. There's a bigger envelope for nonprofit and educational users than there would be for things like office or like dorm and faculty housing or like hotel or convening.
So does that mean that if there wasn't an educational or nonprofit part, that the development would have to sort of scale way back in order?
Yes. Yeah, it would be smaller scale. That's right.
Did you guys propose any financing alternatives in your plan, in your alternative plan?
It's tough. The trust has a really difficult job. There's no debating that. Our plan does bring in some amounts of money. It can.
Right now, it costs about $20 million a year to run the island. It's an expensive, complicated place to run. Today, about 75% of our funding comes from the city. Our goal has always been, really dating back to the 2003 transfer, to continue to grow sources of revenue on the island so that way we are self-sufficient. The mayor and the city have been obviously the champions of Governor's Island, and they have committed $150 million to support this first institutional use on the island. So that is very exciting and obviously incredibly important to this nonprofit component of the growth. This next stage is about, at its heart, two things. I think being able to deliver on this long-held vision of further activation and access for Governor's Island, and then really for the city bringing this climate center to life, and the very real potential to have this be both a job generator for the city, but then also an idea generator for the city, where we can really begin to see hopefully new ideas and new solutions getting integrated back into our urban environments.